A grand, sun-like emblem illuminates the dark, adorned with golden flowers, introducing the son of the empire. The dignified figure of Fabry Blanche Ailkestone stands holding a scepter and a regal orb, embodying the empire's power. A majestic crown is presented, signifying the historical greatness of the emperor, noted for his striking golden hair and jewel-like blue eyes. The emperor's hand glows, symbolizing an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity enjoyed by the empire under his rule. However, this great monarch's reign was a living hell for the original novel's heroine, depicted in distress while held by a shadowy figure amidst thorny roses. Dark, elegant patterns underscore the stark reality that this era of peace was a personal torment for the story's heroine. The novel's title, Empress Imprisoned, appears on a mystical blue book, revealing the heroine's dire fate. The title alone hints at the story of an emperor and empress, the male and female leads, foreshadowing a dark romance as the heroine appears tear-stained. The painful journey culminates in a dark R19 romance, depicting violence and despair as figures lie wounded amidst roses. The narrative shifts to the ill-fated heroine, as an older woman questions a young lady about her lack of marriage intentions. The white-haired woman with bright blue eyes reveals herself as Enya Lockhart, the very heroine of the story. Enya, with playful determination, urges an old man to take his medicine, while he attempts to evade her with excuses. The old woman comments on Enya's improved spirits, suggesting her cold should soon clear up, while Enya stands by the table. Enya explains to her grandmother that she saved her grandson from the mad emperor, and to avoid her original tragic fate, she must keep moving. A bright, almost blinding light engulfs Enya as she firmly sets her resolve, preparing for action. Enya contemplates that it might be time to pack and move again, reinforcing her continuous escape plan. The catalyst for all these events was the Lockhart family's role in enthroning the current emperor, elevating them to a dukedom, as depicted by a man holding a crown. To consolidate their newfound power, the ducal Lockhart family arranged a political marriage, sending a formal, sealed letter. The bride and groom stand in a grand hall representing the arranged political marriage, though there was no love between them. After their first night, the emperor, previously uninterested, became obsessively fixated on the heroine, as suggested by the shadowy bedroom scene and wilting roses. His obsession spiraled, extending to every single action and detail about the heroine, hinted by a blood-stained sword. The emperor's possessive madness culminated in him annihilating the heroine's loyal family on false treason charges to claim her entirely, as a castle burns in red. The emperor, truly a madman, is depicted holding a birdcage with the tiny, trapped heroine inside, symbolizing his complete control and her imprisonment. Enya recalls realizing at 8 years old that she had been reincarnated into this dreadful novel, seeing her distressed reflection. Facing a looming catastrophe, the 8-year-old Enya felt overwhelming helplessness, despite her pondering. Suddenly, Enya notices a strange smell, her eyes widening in curiosity and slight concern. The solution to her predicament was unexpectedly close. Enya possesses an innate ability to detect illnesses through smell, which she uses as two men converse. Young Enya points excitedly, announcing that her grandfather smells strange, demonstrating her unique ability. This ability allowed Enya to detect her grandfather's illness early, earning her a generous allowance, which she saved while utilizing her family's medicinal herb aptitude to prepare for a life on the run. Despite her escape plans, an imperial edict arrived, appointing her empress a full 3 years earlier than depicted in the original novel. That very day, Enya left home, taking care of everything, sighing with relief under the night sky. Enya ensures all traces are burned, including her magic pouch of infinite herbs and a forged ID as fire blazes at her feet. Enya, with wide, determined eyes, vows never to encounter the detestable emperor. A powerful visual burst emphasizes Enya's firm resolve to avoid the emperor at all costs. A carriage travels through a lush, vibrant forest, symbolizing Enya's continuous journey on the run. Enya reflects that it's been 3 years since she started running from the emperor, having moved over 10 times, worrying for her parents but prioritizing her survival. Enya reveals she could have stayed in her current village longer, if not for the recent Resident Registration Act, her blue eye gleaming with determination. The current emperor reformed the Resident Registration Act under military conscription pretext to investigate the populace and curb noble influence, as shown on a map. Enya expresses frustration, wondering why the emperor had to send the empress edict 3 years earlier, causing her current hardship. Enya realizes that the sparsely populated southern region will be the last affected by the Registration Act, making it a potential safe haven. Enya decides to head to Count Grunwald's territory in the south, her face reflecting a mix of determination and a glimmer of hope as light surrounds her. Enya notes Grunwald is a remote, barren countryside perfect for someone on the run, just as a sudden rain shower begins. Enya arrives at her new home, a lovely house bathed in soft light, marking a fresh start. Enya quickly moves to get inside her new home before the intensifying rain catches her, her blue eyes wide with urgency. Enya excitedly observes her new home is sparkling clean and almost fully furnished, large enough for 2 people. Enya smiles joyfully, exclaiming that her new house is even better than she expected, feeling delighted. Enya recalls the realtor's suspicious words about the house having a, quote, tiny problem, making her slightly uneasy. Despite the realtor's vague warning, Enya concludes this place is still suitable for hiding from the emperor, though a sense of unease lingers. Enya's eyes widen, startled by something unseen or unheard in her new surroundings. Enya spins around, questioning what she just heard or sensed, her surprise evident as she scans her new home. Enya is startled by an unexpected noise inside her new house, her foot poised on the wooden floor. Her bright blue eye widens in surprise as she realizes the sound is coming from within the seemingly empty home. Enya lets out a startled scream, recoiling from a dark, cloaked figure suddenly revealed on the floor. Oh, a body! Enya is shocked to discover someone lying collapsed outside her new home in the pouring rain. Enya questions if the house's cheaper price was secretly due to public safety concerns, given the sudden appearance of a collapsed person. Enya looks down, worried, as she hears the collapsed person groan, indicating they are still alive. The cloaked man stirs slightly, groaning in discomfort while lying on the wet ground. Enya crouches down, unsure, asking the collapsed person if they are okay as the rain continues to fall. Enya reaches out a hand to the collapsed person, immediately detecting the strong, distinct smell of illness emanating from them. The cloaked man's face appears flushed as he stirs, making Enya wonder if he merely fainted. Enya agonizes over leaving the collapsed person out in the harsh weather, knowing they would surely get sicker. Enya firmly decides that, despite her life on the run, she cannot pretend not to see someone sick right in front of her. She grabs the cloaked person's arm, resolute in her decision to help pull them inside. Enya resolves to treat the unconscious person first, setting aside her immediate fears for their safety. Enya holds the hand of the cloaked man, who now stands close beside her as rain falls around them. She considers that this person, if properly treated, might surprisingly become a great help to her in the future. Enya ponders that this unexpected encounter could potentially be the very breakthrough she needs to end her miserable life on the run. The cloaked man smiles mysteriously as a small, purple-haired figure encourages readers to support the manga, hinting at potential assistance. Back inside her house, Enya struggles to drag the still unconscious man across the floor, sighing from the effort. Enya expresses frustration, questioning why the man had to collapse right in front of her new house. Enya's eyes widen as a sudden, crucial realization hits her. A maid named Emma, Enya's only real friend and personal maid who knows about her escape, reveals she'll send a strong mercenary for Enya's safety. Enya wonders if the man currently lying unconscious is the mercenary Emma hired from the guild. Enya contemplates her next move with a concerned expression, pondering the man's identity. She reminds herself that she is on the run and would be in serious trouble if he were someone sent by the royal family. Enya decides she must first check for a mercenary badge on the unconscious man's person. Enya finds a mercenary badge with a wolf emblem, confirming his identity as a mercenary. She notes his impressive A rank and his ordinary name, Dale, which suggests he is not royalty. Enya recalls her cartoonish, angry, imagined version of the original emperor, confirming Dale's common name doesn't match a royal's. She remembers the original story described the emperor as insanely handsome, and handsome characters are always important in transmigration cliches. Enya decides she needs to be absolutely sure about his identity, feeling a flicker of doubt. She leans in for a closer look at the man's eye, noting his black eyelashes and hair roots, but surprisingly golden eyes. Enya observes his appearance is totally different from the emperor, who is known for his blonde hair and blue eyes. Although not fully convinced of his identity, Enya prioritizes his immediate treatment. Enya considers that even if the emperor sent him, he wouldn't dare mistreat his destined empress, giving her a continued chance to run away. Enya recalls her grandfather's wise words, "Never turn your back on someone who is suffering." Enya confidently states that she is exceptionally skilled at treating illnesses, ready to begin her work. The sun rises over the picturesque countryside, signaling morning, as Enya, exhausted from treating the man all night, finally rests. Enya feels immense relief that the man's fever is gone, and his breathing has steadied. She reflects on how long it has been since she focused so much on something and hopes he wakes up soon. Enya sits tiredly on the floor, resting her head on her knees next to the sleeping man. The man, Dale, gently reaches out and touches Enya's head while still seemingly asleep. Dale stirs and groans, his hand reaching out in his sleep, indicating he is starting to wake. Enya wakes abruptly to a loud, banging sound, wondering why Emma is making such a racket so early. Enya's eyes snap open, realizing with a jolt that Emma couldn't possibly be here, as she's been on the run for 3 years. Her realization fully hits her. Emma, who works for the Duke's family, should not be in her new hideaway. Enya realizes she is on the second floor and tries to recall how she got there after treating the man yesterday. She becomes alarmed, wondering if the sound is coming from downstairs, indicating an intruder. Enya cautiously starts descending the stairs, her expression tense, fearing someone might have tracked her down. Enya descends into the kitchen and is utterly shocked to see the man she helped now cooking, looking perfectly healthy. Enya reacts with a surprised "ah" as she processes the unexpected sight. Dale, looking healthy and smiling, greets Enya from the kitchen, stating she is awake while she stares in shock. Enya, stunned, recognizes the man from yesterday and marvels at his incredibly fast recovery. Enya brandishes a broom, demanding to know who Dale is in her kitchen, while he casually explains he's repaying her and asks if she skips breakfast. Enya dismisses his breakfast comment, fiercely demanding to know his true identity as he looks on, puzzled. Dale confidently smiles, apologizing that he forgot to introduce himself properly. Enya gasps in surprise, believing Dale just introduced himself as the homeowner. Enya shouts in disbelief, utterly bewildered by the revelation that he is the homeowner, questioning the situation. Enya, processing the shocking news, realizes the house's suspiciously low price now makes perfect sense. Dale confirms he owns the house, and Enya only rented the second floor, prompting Enya to seek clarification. Enya questions why only one floor was listed when she intended to rent the whole house, to which Dale explains he needed quick money and lacked smaller options. Enya admits her own oversight, acknowledging she was in such a rush that she failed to read the contract thoroughly. Enya remembers confronting the realtor about the house's true nature, angrily accusing him of misrepresentation despite his vague defense of quirks. Enya decries the situation as straight-up fraud, having expected only minor issues like bugs or ghosts, as the realtor adamantly refuses a refund, claiming the contract is valid. Enya explains the house is divided with a separate second-floor entrance, concluding that Dale's residence was her only available option for rent. Enya notes the Emperor's decree, then observes Dale, smiling confidently, realizing he is respected by villagers for his kind deeds. Enya's suspicions about Dale are somewhat assuaged, yet she remains hesitant to live with a stranger or involve the law due to her secret identity, as a suited man watches from afar. Enya sighs in resignation, realizing she had no choice but to return, while Dale smiles warmly beside her. Enya feels things were going too smoothly, expressing her weariness with a defeated expression while a chibi Dale looks on worriedly. Enya, with a grave expression, silently ponders her difficult situation. Dale observes Enya with a concerned expression, contemplating how to resolve their unexpected living arrangement. Dale offers to stay outside if he makes Enya uncomfortable, but she objects, touching his hand, asking where he would go in the cold. Dale blushes slightly, prompting Enya to internally complain about his intense gaze. Enya feels conflicted about evicting the homeowner, knowing there are no other available houses in Grunwald. A sudden knock-knock at the door startles both Enya and Dale. Dale questions Enya if she was expecting anyone, wondering who could be at the door so late. Dale instructs Enya to stay put as he goes to check the unexpected visitor at the door. A hand reaches for the door knocker, creating a loud bang. A new smiling man arrives at the door, loudly announcing he's looking for the most beautiful lady in the world, Miss Anne. Dale and Enya look utterly bewildered and surprised by the stranger's dramatic and flattering introduction. Enya stops Dale, understanding that the visitor is likely there for her. The new man, S-rank mercenary Hunter, identifies Enya as his client, Miss Anne, prompting Dale to request proof. Hunter presents a signed request, proving his legitimacy as a mercenary, which Enya reviews carefully. Enya mentally calculates the costs, considering the mercenary guild fee and providing Hunter a place to stay. Enya frets, realizing her already tight budget for hiding out cannot accommodate new expenses. Dale observes Enya with a questioning gaze, picking up on her financial concerns. Enya asks Hunter about additional fees, and he confirms a separate service fee is required. Enya asks Hunter if he has lodging in Grunwald, to which he replies that he does not. Enya, apologizing and looking regretful, takes Hunter's hand and cancels the mercenary request. Hunter looks startled, attempting to protest Enya's abrupt cancellation. Dale interjects, asking Enya if he can utilize the second floor of the house for a year. Dale explains that people either value performance or cost efficiency, and asks Enya if she agrees, to which she confirms. Enya muses that her mother likely insisted on an expensive S-rank mercenary for her safety, but she deems the cost excessive. Hunter is shown with text bubbles detailing his exorbitant costs, brokerage fees, housing, and food expenses, all with additional charges. Enya contemplates how Dale is different. He explains that under the resident law, her registration would default to his name, but she could opt for her own. Enya states that having her registration under Dale's name suits her perfectly. Enya realizes this arrangement allows her to evade the resident law and gain protection from an A-rank mercenary, while Dale smiles knowingly. Enya, looking determined amidst cute puppy illustrations, declares she has a job for Dale. Enya, wide-eyed and resolute, asks Dale to become her mercenary, as a small purple-haired figure encourages readers to support the series. A promotional image invites readers to join Magus Manga's team for translation, editing, and quality checks, encouraging visits to their website and Discord for more content. Enya holds a bag of gold coins, reflecting on finding Dale's ID badge and confirming his mercenary status. Enya explains to Dale that her substantial payment is for a critical protection request, revealing she is currently on the run. Enya clarifies that the person she is running from is incredibly powerful, prompting Dale to thoughtfully repeat the word. Enya, smiling confidently, details her generous offer, including a significant daily bonus, which totals enough to buy a mansion. Dale observes that such a large sum indicates immense danger, especially for his client, Miss Anne. Dale looks earnestly at Enya, assuring her he will maintain absolute confidentiality regarding her affairs. Enya smiles, internally acknowledging Dale's sharp perception and intelligence. Enya confidently affirms her decision, believing she made the right choice by entrusting Dale. Enya, looking resolute, proposes to Dale that he become her contract husband for the next 364 days. Enya reveals her strategic reason for the large payment, to use a contract marriage to deter the Emperor from pursuing her. Dale appears surprised by the mention of husband, while Enya wonders if the term is too much for his first unique request. Dale comments on the long duration of 364 days, but Enya quickly reassures him that their arrangement is not a real marriage. This scene highlights the Deferred Marriage Act as the legal basis for their 364-day contract marriage. Imperial law dictates that marriage is simple, but divorce is complicated, leading to a deferred marriage period to boost rates. This brilliant law allows either party to nullify the marriage within a year, delaying full legal recognition. Enya, with a serious expression, explains that her unusual request stems from someone having proposed to her. Enya reveals she has been on the run for 3 years from a dangerous man, and a contract marriage will protect her identity as Dale's resident. Dale asks about the man who proposed, but Enya refuses to elaborate, reminding him he hasn't officially accepted her request yet. Dale covers his mouth in thought, contemplating Enya's proposal, before asking if she is ready for him to take on her request. Enya places a bag of coins on the table, encouraging Dale to take his time deciding without any pressure. Dale firmly grasps Enya's hand, accepting her request and stating he will take it on, just as she considered other options. Dale, holding Enya's hand, formally accepts her proposal, declaring he will be her husband, much to Enya's surprise. As the carriage travels down a scenic path, Enya confirms Dale has memorized all the essential details of their cover story. Dale recites their fabricated backstory, detailing a long-distance relationship and Enya's journey to reunite with him. Enya confirms Dale's understanding of their fake history, then confidently declares they are now ready to register their marriage. The story explains ancient customs of marriage overseen by temples, including discreet options and donations for quicker registration. Enya surprises Dale by revealing her true identity as the daughter of House Lockhart and the fact the Emperor proposed to her. Dale, maintaining a serious expression, reaffirms his commitment to the risky request, despite Enya's shocking revelation. Dale sits calmly, crossing his legs, a composure Enya notes is fitting for their contract marriage arrangement. Dale appears flustered and blushes, prompting Enya to observe his nervousness and stuttering. Enya continues to observe Dale's obvious nervousness, noting his stuttering as he attempts to respond. Their carriage arrives at the temple as Enya recounts their fabricated first meeting as a noble escort at a capital ball. Dale suggests the imperial city's garden as a more romantic setting for their fabricated meeting. Enya blushes, surprised by Dale's unexpectedly sentimental nature. Enya and Dale stand together, with Enya musing that she must remember Dale's romantic suggestions for their fabricated backstory as a couple on the run. Dale, in his mercenary uniform, confirms his identity as an A-rank mercenary from the Blacktail's Northern Grand Union Guild. Enya questions Dale about his journey from the northernmost region to Grunwald, stressing the need for genuine details for their marriage story. Dale pauses, a slight blush visible, as he prepares to answer Enya's probing question. Dale reveals that he came to Grunwald after an accident caused a long-cherished dream to fail. Enya expresses sympathy for Dale's unspecified past, offering words of encouragement and hoping things improve for him. Enya takes Dale's arm, urging him toward the temple but then stops him, realizing she has one more crucial question. Enya leans close to Dale, directly asking him if he is currently seeing anyone. Dale emphatically states he is not seeing anyone, assuring Enya he will not neglect her request, and that she has no need to worry. Dale, in chibi form, promises to properly repay Enya for saving him, while she, also in chibi form, downplays her actions. The Grand Temple stands under a rainbow, as Enya asks Dale if they should now proceed to become a fake married couple. Enya and Dale, holding hands, enter the temple, with Enya stating their purpose is to register their marriage. A temple official inquires about their marriage, and Enya quickly confirms it's a love elopement, requesting prompt registration. The official leads the way, and Enya, feeling overwhelmed by the temple's grandeur, notes Dale's surprising calmness. Enya observes Dale's stiff demeanor, wondering if he's frozen with nerves or just awkwardly composed. A man opens large, ornate doors, welcoming Enya and Dale into the temple's inner chambers. Dale and Enya are welcomed by an official into the temple, identified as the groom and bride. The official asks Dale and Enya if they are ready to vow themselves to the union. Enya responds affirmatively, stating she has been waiting for this day. Dale smiles, confirming he too has been waiting for this day. Enya internally muses that their marriage is just a performance, lacking traditional elements like a dress, ring, or guests. The official formally declares their marriage recognized, and Enya surprisingly feels a genuine connection to Dale. Enya laughs happily, embracing their new reality as a married couple, even if by contract, and resolves to do their best for 364 days. Enya realizes Dale's coat is missing, and he offers to go back to the temple to fetch it. Enya smiles, finding Dale sweet and affirming her decision to sign a contract with him. The temple official is shown reaching into a tall, ornate cabinet inside the temple. The official looks startled, questioning where the marriage certificate is, realizing it's gone. Dale, now cloaked, confronts the official, demanding to know his identity and how he entered silently. The official recognizes Dale as the groom, but senses a vastly different aura, then realizes Dale is holding the certificate. The official angrily questions Dale's actions, demanding to know what he is doing. Dale, with an intense gaze, warns the official not to take something that isn't his, then signs a document with Fabry Blanche Ailkistone. The official is stunned and enraged, accusing Dale of insanity for uttering the imperial name. The official shouts that a commoner like Dale has no right to speak such a revered name freely. Dale drops a grand, ornate ring onto the counter, stating it should be sufficient. The official's eyes widen in shock, recognizing the ring as one bestowed only upon the emperor. Dale, with a sinister smile, tells the official that even a corrupt priest should recognize this, threatening him to process the marriage unless he wants to die. Dale glares intensely, giving a final command to process the marriage immediately. A promotional image encourages readers to support the series on Magus Manga's website for official content. A recruitment advertisement invites readers to join Magus Manga's team for various roles, including translation and editing. A chibi character encourages readers to support the series, as text states they must proceed with the registration since a marriage must be certain. The official nervously agrees to the registration, but Dale clarifies he is not the emperor. Dale states his name, revealing his identity to the terrified official. Dale looks directly at the official, his eyes glowing with an intense, unyielding gaze. Dale warns the official that it's best not to speak of what happened today unless he wants to lose his head. The official trembles and quickly agrees as Dale turns and walks towards the exit. Dale confidently walks away from the official, leaving him stunned and fearful. Dale is seen walking with his coat in hand, departing the temple. Dale walks through a grand hall, contemplating that contracts and grace periods are merely wordplay. Dale reflects that since the marriage registration is complete, he is now truly Enya's husband. Enya smiles, thinking to herself that she never intended to let Dale go from the beginning. Dale blushes subtly, while text confirms the woman's identity as Lady Enya Lockhart. A carriage moves swiftly along a path. Clatter, clatter. Two women observe someone passing, with one asking if it was Dale from Grunwald. One woman confirms it was Dale, whom Miss Adeline had intended to invite to her birthday party. One woman wonders if Dale came to get married, but the other dismisses it, thudding with her parasol. The women decide it's best to check the matter for themselves. Leaves float in the sky as the women decide to investigate. The next day, Enya and Dale are surprised by a vast array of wedding gifts, Enya exclaiming in awe. Enya wonders how the news spread so quickly and if Dale is truly that popular. Dale apologizes if he startled Enya, who points out he isn't denying his popularity. Enya praises Dale as a kind and exemplary young man who takes initiative, adding that his looks naturally draw attention. Enya mentally notes that being the wife of such an attention-grabbing man isn't ideal for someone hiding, realizing she's attracting more eyes than expected. Enya holds a knife, contemplating how she can cleverly utilize her current situation. Enya realizes the land she's in possesses fertile soil, coveted even by villains in novels. Enya recalls that according to the novel, Grunwald has a vast medicinal herb field owned by Duke Hexagon. Enya thinks about observing the land from the temple and not recalling any area that looked like an herb field. Dale confirms to Enya that no one from Duke Hexagon's household has ever visited Grunwald, as he would have noticed. Enya realizes the Duke hasn't developed the herb field yet, seeing an opportunity, and asks Dale for a favor. Clatter, clatter. Enya looks up at Dale with a hopeful expression, her hands clasped on the table. Dale asks if Enya plans to farm land, and she confirms, specifying it must be near the Lord's estate and the ginkgo forest. Dale shifts, stops, and agrees to find a piece of land fitting Enya's exact conditions today. Enya thanks Dale and bids him a good day, while Dale promises to finish work early and be back before dinner. Dale smiles as he departs, affirming he will be back, while a small creature watches him leave. Enya smiles, thinking Dale is truly a reliable contract husband. Enya decides to tidy the house, trusting Dale will find the land without trouble. A knocking sound, knock knock, comes from the front door. Enya hears the persistent knocking, knock knock, and wonders if it's another villager stopping by as she approaches the door. The door creaks open, and Enya is startled by two angry women demanding to know why she answered so late, making her wonder who they are. Enya politely asks about their purpose, as the women angrily question if she really married Dale, and outside, other women stare at the house. The women accuse Enya of blackmailing or bribing Dale, leaving her confused about their sudden appearance just hours after Dale left. The women vehemently declare Dale marrying Enya instead of Miss Adeline is impossible, prompting Enya to ask what her marriage has to do with them. An elegant woman in red shoes, approaches through the vibrant green grass. Enya is surprised as the elegant woman intervenes, advising the others not to be harsh and put Lady Enya in a difficult position. The elegant woman, Adeline, with a smile, confirms Enya's identity and that the rumor of Dale's marriage is true. Enya confirms her identity to Adeline Kitteland, daughter of the Viscount of the adjacent territory, while Enya secretly wonders if Adeline was sent by the Emperor. Adeline smiles, assuring Enya there is no need to be guarded, as she simply came to invite her new neighbor to a gathering. Narrative text explains that while the territories are close, Kitteland stretches far beyond the boundary, questioning Adeline's true motive in Grunwald. One of Adeline's companions chastises Enya, instructing her to be respectful to Adeline, who is like the Lord's granddaughter, thwack. Adeline giggles, explaining she loves Grunwald's nature and has been staying at the Lord's estate thanks to close territorial ties. Adeline proposes inviting Enya to a tea party tomorrow at the Lord's estate, while a companion praises Adeline's generosity. Adeline's companion suggests they should help Enya adjust, while Enya internally recognizes Adeline as feigning kindness. Enya privately observes Adeline's insincere demeanor as Adeline holds an invitation, asking Enya if she will attend the party. Enya smiles, realizing this invitation works well since she already planned business near the Lord's estate. Dale, back at the house, asks Enya if she is referring to Lady Kitteland's tea party. Dale offers Enya a piece of cake and assures her she doesn't have to go if she doesn't want to, but Enya affirms her curiosity about the estate. Enya explains she wants to check the land Dale found near the estate, and he understands, suggesting something further. Dale smiles, asking if Enya needs a dress for the tea party, offering her access to the second-floor dressing room, which Enya gratefully accepts. Enya then hesitantly asks Dale if he ever lived in the house with a lover. Enya recalls tidying the second-floor dressing room, discovering women's clothes and accessories, implying they belonged to someone who lived there. Dale clarifies that the clothes belonged to his younger sister who used to live with him. Dale reassures Enya, telling her there is nothing like what she is imagining. Dale admits he's been too busy for romance until meeting Enya, who blushes and quickly clarifies she was merely asking, not worrying. Enya expresses relief that the clothes don't belong to a past lover and says she will borrow something to wear. Enya chuckles, thinking that someone as awkward as Dale wouldn't have been living with a lover, convincing herself it's impossible. Adeline stands before a grand estate, exclaiming, "Arr, so annoying," in frustration. Adeline calls out Sophia, who appears abruptly, thud. Sophia responds to Adeline, confirming she was called Thud. Adeline informs Sophia that this year's birthday party will be the grandest one yet. Adeline, with a sinister smirk, declares she will make the presumptuous commoner know her place for coveting what's hers and orders Sophia to contact her aide, chuckling. The next day, near the Lord's castle, Dale presents a vast landscape to Enya, explaining it fits her conditions, and she looks on in awe. Enya is surprised, asking if the land is truly spacious and cheap. Dale explains the low price is due to a rumor that the Lord fell ill from a curse, a rumor Enya recalls hearing, contemplating its terrifying power. A map shows the vast land near the Lord's castle in Ginkgo Forest, confirming it matches Enya's desired location from the original story. Enya, looking thoughtful, senses a strange stench stinging her nose. Sniff. Enya notes that the original story only described fertile herb land, with no mention of a smell, and concludes something feels off. Enya asks Dale for the shovel she packed, and he promptly hands it to her. Enya questions Dale about the shovel, who explains he brought it for her, making her grateful. Enya tells Dale to wait, clarifying there's something they need to do first. Dale turns to Enya with an inquiring look. Dale tells Enya to sit, reminding her she'll be attending a tea party soon. Enya expresses concern about her clothes getting stained, noting that small flaws are grave in high society, while Dale offers to brush off any dirt. Dale expresses a desire to handle all the dirty work himself. Enya observes that the deeper soil smells different and is rich in microorganisms, but something feels off. Enya wonders why such fertile soil is covered by a foul-smelling layer of dirt. Enya decides she must act quickly to claim the land, and asks Dale if she should contact the Lord's castle to purchase it. Dale says no, explaining Grunwald is currently only allowed to use the land for convenience, implying it's not truly theirs. Enya is surprised by Dale's explanation, questioning if he mentioned Cadland. Adeline smiles subtly while holding her parasol. Text explains it's highly unusual for such a large piece of land in front of Grunwald's castle to be owned by a different territory. Enya reflects on the suspicious barrenness of the fertile land and its ownership by a blood relative from Cadland. Enya, holding Dale's hand, resolves not to give up on the high-quality land despite the unknown circumstances. Enya suggests they head to the Lord's castle. Enya looks determined, deciding she will uncover the truth herself. Dale and Enya arrive in a carriage at the Grand Grunwald Lord's castle. Dale helps Enya out of the carriage, announcing their arrival, and Enya thanks him. Dale blushes, stating the honor of accompanying her is his. Three women observe Dale and Enya, remarking on Dale's unusually happy smile. Adeline, visibly annoyed, questions if the rumors of a forced marriage were false after seeing Dale's expression. Adeline welcomes Enya, who thanks her for the invitation. Enya notices Adeline's fixed gaze on Dale, realizing Adeline's attention is not on her, the invited guest. Enya feigns car sickness to elicit Dale's concern, who offers to take her home. Enya smiles, finding relief in Dale's evident concern for her well-being. Adeline's expression darkens behind her fan, wondering if Enya is feigning illness because Dale is present. Dale bids Enya farewell, promising to see her tonight. Adeline grips her fan tightly in frustration. Adeline suggests they go inside now that their meeting is over. Enya observes Adeline and her companion walking, noting her calculated effect feels refreshing. Adeline shouts angrily, and a woman in a blue dress cries out in shock. Sophia sits on the floor with a nosebleed, questioning why Adeline is staring at her and if she's okay. Enya and Adeline look at the fallen Sophia, Enya asking if she is all right. Enya offers a handkerchief to Sophia, who thanks her for helping with her nosebleed. Enya observes Sophia's shabby clothes, realizing she's not a maid, and wonders if she's a noble in difficult circumstances, recalling the castle can't afford maids. Sophia states she is from here as Adeline abruptly calls her name loudly. Adeline scolds Sophia for wandering around given her weak health. Adeline tells Sophia to go rest, and Sophia agrees, then asks if she can wait in Adeline's room. Adeline is visibly shocked and upset by Sophia's request. Adeline quickly composes herself, dismissing Sophia's request as obvious, then notices Sophia's scraped palm and tells her to get ointment and rest. Sophia thanks Adeline, calling her sister, and Enya wonders if she's a younger sibling, noting their distant dynamic. Lady Adeline and Lord Grunwald are relatives, making her practically his biological granddaughter. Enya is surprised, wondering if Sophia could be the true Lord Grunwald's granddaughter, finding the situation strange. Enya realizes the Lord's biological granddaughter cannot attend the tea party, while Adeline, merely a relative, is pretending to own the manor, prompting Enya to excuse herself to go inside. Enya deeply questions what exactly is happening within the Lord's manor. Two women inside gossip about Enya, wondering about her noble family and recognizing her as the woman from the rumors about Dale. The women express pity for Dale marrying a commoner, asserting that marriage should be approached with more care. One woman suggests Enya should be Dale's strength, contrasting her with Lady Adeline, who would have brought wealth and honor, potentially ending his dangerous mercenary life. Okay, I see a hand holding a teacup. Enya feels underwhelmed, questioning if the tea party's setup is all there is, expecting more grandeur. Adeline subtly smirks, thinking Enya should have the decency to step aside and let Dale find a more suitable wife. At the tea party, Enya observes another woman from the side, while a guest comments on the situation. The guest further disparages Enya, believing she is only setting herself up for public humiliation. A woman suggests they celebrate Adeline's birthday, revealing the true nature of the tea party. Guests enthusiastically present gifts to Adeline for her birthday, though she claims they weren't necessary. Enya is inwardly frustrated by the childish trick, realizing she was set up to appear rude for not bringing a birthday gift. Adeline admires the array of lovely jewelry and luxurious items received as gifts. Adeline pointedly asks Enya about her gift, implying she arrived empty-handed despite Adeline's earlier suggestion. Enya maintains a calm, confident expression, anticipating the confrontation. Enya calmly assures everyone she did indeed bring a present, revealing a small red box in her hand. Enya, with a slight smirk, presents the small red box to Adeline as a birthday gift. Adeline feigns surprise and gratitude at receiving the gift, while another guest observes. Enya's sly expression hints she has been preparing this gift since Adeline first appeared at her home. The scene flashes back to yesterday afternoon, with Dale asking Enya if she had considered a present. Enya looks surprised, questioning Dale about the need for a gift. Dale clarifies that the tea party is in fact a birthday celebration. Dale recounts that Adeline, the Cadlin daughter, invited Enya to what she called a birthday party. A man in a dark cloak reconsiders, admitting he might have been mistaken about the party's nature. Enya realizes Adeline intentionally withheld information to humiliate her, and asks Dale to wait, thwack. Dale, concerned about Enya attending empty-handed, offers her a small red box as a suitable gift. Enya is visibly shocked, recognizing the rare and authentic necklace Dale offers from the red box. Dale, smiling, explains he received the valuable necklace as a gift and gives it to Enya as he has no need for it. Adeline, holding the gift, announces her excitement to open Enya's present, swoosh. Adeline opens the box, sees the tiny necklace and feigns pleasant surprise at the adorable gift, despite its size, sigh. Adeline, already adorned with a large necklace, internally dismisses Enya's gift as too small, despite its beauty. Adeline mockingly accepts the tiny gift, implying its worth is negligible, while Enya remains unfazed by her obvious disdain. A surprised guest exclaims in recognition of Enya's gift, realizing its true significance. Thump. The guest with glasses declares the necklace is priceless, questioning if Enya is a merchant's daughter to possess such an item. Swoosh. The guest identifies Enya's gift as Angel's Trumpet, a priceless masterpiece by the 6th Imperial General, expressing awe. Adeline is utterly shocked by the necklace's identity, questioning its authenticity and how Enya could possibly own such a rare item. The knowledgeable guest approaches Enya, surprising the other attendees scramble. The guest asks Enya for a private conversation, expressing immense interest in the necklace. Swoosh. The guest elaborates on the necklace's historical significance, noting it represents the origin of pendant crafting in their empire. The guest confirms the necklace is indeed the Angel's Trumpet masterpiece. Upon closer inspection, sigh. The guest speculates that Adeline is foolishly rejecting the truly splendid gift. Swoosh. Adeline trembles with barely contained rage as the guest points out Adeline's dismissal of the invaluable gift. Tremble. Trembling with fury, Adeline feigns humility, then abruptly declares an urgent matter and ends the party, tremble. The guest and Enya observe Adeline, understanding she ended the party due to extreme embarrassment. The guest smiles, acknowledging Enya is far from an ordinary individual. 2 days later, the narrative presents a view of Enya and Dale's home, described as their newlywed house. The guest praises Dale's handsome face, annoying Enya, who tells her to stop staring and sit down. The guest directly offers Enya $2.5 million for the Angel's Trumpet necklace, Flash. The guest comments on the high price and the rarity of the item, recognizing Enya as an extraordinary person. Enya looks at Dale, contemplating how he managed to acquire such a rare and valuable item. Enya recalls giving the necklace to Adeline, believing Adeline's disdain for her would prevent her from recognizing its true worth. Enya thinks about needing trust beyond Dale, as the guest, holding a small red feather, wonders if she passed Enya's test. Thump. Enya agrees to a price reduction in exchange for friendship and requests information about Grunwald's hidden secrets or land. The guest, sipping tea, states her limited knowledge of Grunwald as she is not from there. Swoosh. Enya inquires about the Grunwald castle and its ailing lord, a rumor the guest confirms knowing. Click! A hand sets down a teacup as a character asks if the listener wants to know why the lord is sick and about Kylan's relationship with Grunwald. Rustle. A woman with glasses wonders where to begin explaining, then notices a map nearby. Rustle. The woman leans over a map, asking if they knew the territories were once united. Narration explains that a few generations ago, the Lord of Grunwald gave lands to Kylan, leading them to rule different territories. A stylized depiction shows a sword striking downwards, illustrating a forceful separation or event. Swords and a halberd are depicted, with narration stating, Kylan helped Grunwald with demons until one day, with their guard down, demons barged into the Lord's castle. A blood-stained sword lies embedded in the ground, surrounded by splatters of blood and withered flowers, depicting a scene of violence. Narration explains the Lord fainted from demon attacks, then Kylan helped him recover, taking Grunwald's land as compensation. An interior shot of a room, with a character asking if the bad land in front of the castle is one of the seized areas, receiving confirmation. A map is shown as a character wonders why Kylan, with ample land, would want this particular territory, admitting they don't know the full reason. A woman smiles, offering to share the answer if she finds it, then asks what the other person wants from her as a new friend. Enya smiles brightly, asking for help just once when she needs it. Whoosh! Enya and the woman hold hands, smiling in a grand setting. Slide! Dale offers Enya a warm cocoa, and she thanks him, asking about his job on the island. Dale explains he has to keep an eye on the hunting grounds in case of unexpected floods. Two chibi characters depict a worried Enya and a struggling Dale fighting against chibi monsters, as Enya wonders how he can watch the hunting ground if he can't even kill an ant. Dale looks serious, asking Enya her reason for wanting him to take her to the hunting grounds tomorrow. Enya asks Dale if he remembers the land he investigated. Enya blushes and smiles, expressing her thought that it's a good idea to make that land her own. Bang! An overhead view shows the Grunwald Lord's castle, well kept with gardens. Rustle! A foot in a floral shoe steps on green grass, signaling arrival. Enya thanks the man for always bringing her here, while he apologizes for sending her off alone due to work. A chibi version of Enya assures him she can manage, while a chibi man looks surprised before stating he's heading home as well. Enya smiles, musing that Dale becomes more fascinating the more she sees him. Narration highlights Dale's elegant posture and effortless horse riding, suggesting he could easily be mistaken for a noble. Enya pauses, deep in thought, with an intense gaze. A woman with blonde hair, Adeline, is revealed to have been watching Enya, wondering how long she has been observed. Adeline internally apologizes, regretting she didn't mean to tease the other person. Adeline, standing by a window with potions nearby, angrily questions why that sly woman keeps interfering at the Lord's castle. Narration states, the narrator was surprised by something upon arriving inside the Lord's castle. Enya is greeted by a man as the narrator expresses surprise at seeing the broker who scammed her on a house purchase, proclaiming it's fraud and a nightmare resurfacing. Screams. The man explains that while Dale mentioned Enya wished to meet the Lord is currently unable to receive visitors. Enya confirms she knew the Lord was bedridden, which makes things easier for her. Enya confidently states she has come as a physician to assess the Lord's condition and requests permission to visit. The old man smiles, acknowledging her request but pausing in thought. The old man's expression darkens as he considers the situation. He explains that they are not in a position to afford medical expenses. A quiet interior scene shows a room with a large window and subtle decor. The man explains he even takes side jobs to support the castle, recalling when he introduced the house to Enya, as Enya listens intently. Enya reassures him she won't ask for immediate payment, prompting the man to question her intentions and ask for her real reason. Crack. Enya confidently states she can heal the Lord, suggesting they discuss the reward after the examination. Clatter! Sophia, the aide, announces a guest, surprised to realize it's Enya from before, who is already by the Lord's bedside. Whoosh! Enya smiles brightly, greeting Lady Sophia and again requesting to assess the Lord's condition. Enya reveals that she recognizes a faint stench from the last party, explaining that Miss N is a physician who came to examine the Lord. Enya asks Sophia when the Lord's symptoms first appeared. Sophia looks distressed as she explains that the Lord completely lost control of his body and collapsed about 3 months ago. Enya's hand gently touches her medical bag, acknowledging that 3 months is a bit late for treatment. Enya smiles triumphantly, declaring she has the perfect medicine for the Lord. The old man looks doubtful, asking if the medicine is truly reliable since countless treatments have failed. He describes the Lord's symptoms: hallucinations, talking to himself, and eczema appearing on his arms and feet, while Sophia looks worried. Enya explains the Lord's symptoms, a mix of mental and physical, suddenly appeared. Bare feet and hands are visible on a shadowy, textured floor, hinting at a scene of distress or struggle. Enya, lying in bed, recalls her grandfather suffered similar symptoms but recovered with timely treatment, while the Lord rests unwell. Sophia, appearing distressed, asks Enya what specific illness her grandfather had. Enya, with a grave expression, reveals that the condition is not an illness. Enya states unequivocally that the Lord's condition is due to poison, her eyes glowing with determination, shock. Enya declares the Lord has been poisoned, prompting shocked reactions and questions about who committed the act. Sophia desperately pleads with Enya to save her grandfather, emphasizing he is her only remaining family after her parents' accident, thwack. Enya asks Sophia to follow her instructions, to which Sophia eagerly agrees to do anything. Enya prepares the medicine, carefully opening a small, ornate bottle. Foom. The Lord writhes, eyes watering and face contorted in discomfort, as medicine is administered to him. Sophia watches the suffering Lord, crying out in concern that he is in so much pain. Ugh. Ku, NGH. A male servant angrily questions Enya about the substance she gave the Lord, wondering if it was something harmful. Enya smiles confidently, revealing the item is holy water, an extremely rare and expensive item from the temple. Sophia and the male servant are utterly shocked to learn Enya possesses holy water, a famously costly item. Enya observes Sophia and the servant, realizing they are astonished by her possession of such a valuable item. A chibi Enya admits she kept the holy water for emergencies, having swiped a few bottles when she ran away from home, hee. Sophia urges her grandfather to endure the bitter medicine, while Enya feels relieved that they now trust her. The Lord appears calmer, and Enya promises continuous care until his full recovery, receiving deep gratitude from Sophia. Sophia holds Enya's hand, thanking her profusely and expressing her inability to ever fully repay such kindness. Enya reflects on the expense of holy water, realizing the Lord's severe condition must necessitate such a rare treatment. Enya observes a man, recalling that Lady Adeline had suggested only consistent herbal treatment for the Lord. The man thanks Enya for the Lord's first improvement, but explains their financially struggling territory cannot offer monetary compensation. Enya subtly suggests land as an alternative form of compensation, her expression hinting at a deeper plan. Enya smiles, expressing her desire for land suitable for growing medicinal herbs to help the poor, with a hint of slyness. The man acknowledges Enya as a dedicated physician, but regretfully states Grunwald has little fertile land and none cultivated from the forest estate. Enya confidently declares she can handle making any spacious land suitable, surprising the man with her assertiveness. The man offers Enya the garden area behind the castle and a small vegetable plot. The man mentions the large wasteland in front of the castle belongs to Cadland, but Enya, smiling broadly, declares it perfect, wanting that specific land. Enya exuberantly states the land is ideal, while the man and Sophia look on in surprise. Enya stands by a grand window, admiring the beautiful view outside. The man rushes off to retrieve the physician employment contract, and Enya calmly accepts. A woman in a long dress stands solemnly in a dark doorway. The woman's hand clenches tightly, showing her intense frustration or anger. At Enya's newlywed house, a thought bubble shows a chibi character instructing Dale to look at something outside. Enya joyfully presents her new physician employment contract to Dale, announcing her new job at the Lord's estate. Dale asks Enya about her new job, and she clarifies she's been assigned to look after the Lord's health for a while. Dale expresses concern about Enya overworking herself, asking if she needs money, but she reassures him it's not the case. Enya explains her goal is to claim the valuable land she discovered, and hints at an additional reason for her new job. Enya senses the Lord was deliberately poisoned and feels a duty as a physician, also noting that working at the estate will give her quicker access to Imperial news. Tap. Dale, concerned, warns Enya that her actions might attract the Emperor's interest. Dale elaborates that if the cursed Lord Grunwald recovers after just 3 months, people will become intensely curious about his physician. Dale explains that rumors about Enya's abilities will undoubtedly spread, attracting significant attention. Dale warns that the Emperor, who recruits talented individuals regardless of their origin, will almost certainly turn his attention to Enya. Dale affirms that Enya is a brilliant physician, which is why she will attract such imperial notice. Enya's face shows a subtle, knowing smile, hinting at her secret intentions. Enya expresses gratitude for Dale's concern, but assures him she has her own methods for handling potential imperial attention, piquing Dale's curiosity. Enya ponders how, despite powerful figures like her father, Duke Lockhart, and the Emperor joining forces, they haven't caught her in 3 years since she fled the Empress's decree. Dale suggests her careful hiding is the reason, but Enya playfully refutes his idea. Enya smirks, revealing her true secret. The Emperor is simply too overwhelmed with work to find her. Enya explains to Dale that she has been anonymously feeding the capital reports of the old noble's wrongdoings. A hand gestures as Enya explains the previous Emperor and old noble faction committed countless atrocities, making it hard to dig up all their long-standing corruption. Enya, looking determined, reveals she hired informants to find corruption and files the reports herself. Enya smiles, explaining that the Emperor benefits from her reports as it helps him tighten his grip on power. Dale listens as Enya states she benefits because her actions keep the Emperor too busy to pursue her. Enya smirks, proudly calling her plan a total win-win because it allows her to handle the Emperor and punish the novel's villains. Dale responds with, "I see," causing Enya to look down, surprised, and ask him to repeat what he said. Dale covers his mouth, explaining he was simply surprised by her unexpected methods. Narration reveals that the sudden increase in government affairs over the past few years was all Enya's doing. A grand building stands under a bright sky as a voice asks about someone's well-being and if they feel any discomfort. A man and Sophia are seen conversing, happily noting that Miss N's medicine is effective and the Lord is recovering quickly, even going for walks. Enya expresses relief at the Lord's recovery. Narration explains the rare poison spreads slowly, requiring constant exposure, and shows no early symptoms. A swirling red substance represents the poison, and narration explains that it has no early symptoms until it reaches a lethal dose. Enya reflects that the poison cannot be naturally contracted, inferring that the same spy from the Hexagon Old Nobles faction who poisoned her grandfather is responsible. Enya considers that if this poisoning is also their doing, then a hexagon spy must have infiltrated Grunwald, gaining the Lord's trust over a long period. Enya walks through a hallway, her eyes widening as she hears an unexpected sound. Whoosh! Enya looks surprised to hear someone call out, "Adeline," as Adeline herself rushes down a corridor. Enya observes Adeline, wondering why she is rushing off so quickly. Tap! Sophia rushes up to Enya, expressing relief to find her still there and asking if anything is wrong after the examination. Sophia thanks Enya profusely, admitting that they never would have realized poison was the cause of the Lord's illness without her. Sophia tearfully speaks about her kind grandfather who raised her, questioning who would ever want to hurt him. Sophia confirms the Lord's herb, cozy flower, a Grunwald specialty, stopped growing, leading Adeline to source it. Enya explains cozy flower is known for detoxifying, which is why she uses it for the Lord's treatment, but if his condition worsened, then the herb itself must be compromised. Enya suspects the cozy flower from Fairyland might have been altered, with a chilling image of Adeline standing over the ailing Lord. Enya's gaze sharpens, concluding that the culprit must be the person closest to the Lord who handled the herb. Enya advises Sophia to keep an eye on Lady Adeline, which visibly shocks Sophia. Sophia recoils, stating her disbelief that Adeline could be involved, as her grandfather adored Adeline, who is like a sister and family to her. Sophia, with a sad smile, confesses she cannot bring herself to suspect Adeline, her only true friend. Sophia nervously assures Enya she's not ignoring her advice. Narration notes Sophia's innocence, as she still trusts Adeline and Fairyland despite the situation. Sophia forces a smile, apologizing for being too soft, stating it's not easy to become cold and rational instantly. Enya internally muses, questioning why she should only brush off suspicion towards Lady Adeline. Enya smiles at Sophia, suggesting they face the distrust together as friends. Sophia is surprised by Enya's suggestion, then seems to understand. Enya takes Sophia's hand, asking her to call her Enya. Sophia, blushing and happy, agrees, asking Enya to call her Sophia, as Enya insists status doesn't matter between friends. Sophia excitedly promises Enya a tour of the Lord's study, her absolute favorite place, grasping Enya's hands. Enya smiles warmly, accepting the offer and expressing her anticipation. Enya descends the stairs, thinking she'll be coming to the manor more often now that she has a close confidant. Clang! Enya pauses on the stairs, startled by a loud sound, wondering what it is. Enya cautiously walks down the stairs, hearing sounds like someone is arguing louder downstairs. The character with long blonde hair, presumably Adeline, screams in frustration about a mess, asking what it is. Adeline shouts in panic that a weird woman cured Count Grunwald, fearing their family is finished if exposed, her eyes glowing intensely. Enya peeks around the corner, recognizing the voice and observing Adeline holding a glowing red orb. The image displays a promotional banner for the series with a chibi character. Enya, still hidden, identifies the voice and figure as Adeline Kitland, who is holding a glowing red orb. Enya realizes Adeline is holding a communicator. A man's voice tells Adeline to calm down and asks if Count Grunwald has recovered. Adeline furiously denies lying to her father, then rages that Enya stole Dale, humiliated her, and is now ruining family affairs. Adeline's father asks if she found the documents, but Adeline dismisses it as unimportant given the current crisis. Adeline, in a frenzy, screams that failure means the end for them, and warns that if the Duke finds out, they'll all be dead, clutching the glowing orb. Enya, listening from her hiding spot, is shocked to hear about the Duke and wonders about the documents they mentioned. Adeline, seen from behind, questions how she is supposed to find documents hidden by someone who is already gone. Enya internally challenges unseen adversaries to come find her if they desire something so badly. Red shards explode outwards from a central point, signaling a dramatic shift or revelation. Enya appears exhausted and distraught, catching her breath in multiple gasps. Adeline throws her hands up in a furious outburst, screaming in frustration. Adeline rages, claiming everything has gone wrong in Grunwald ever since Enya arrived. Enya stands with a determined gaze, preparing for whatever comes next. Enya deduces that the Duke being discussed must be Duke Hexagon, as only 2 dukedoms currently exist. Sparkling red shards lay scattered on a dark surface, reflecting light. A hand carefully picks up one of the glowing red shards. Enya holds a red shard that illuminates her neck, confirming her suspicions. Enya declares that Duke Hexagon is the mastermind behind the recent events. Duke Hexagon, head of the old noble faction and villain from the original story, is introduced. Historically, the Hexagon dukedom was known as the Angel of the People for providing a panacea to the empire. The panacea was a cheap, miraculous medicine that cured all diseases, offering salvation to the poor. In reality, the panacea was a horrific, addictive drug causing paralysis, and was supported by Hexagon from the shadows. The previous emperor ignored the drug's devastating effects on innocent citizens for decades. Many citizens became gravely ill due to long-term exposure to the drug. However, the current emperor refused to tolerate this injustice. Despite fierce resistance from other nobles, the current emperor decisively moved to bring down Duke Hexagon. Consequently, Duke Hexagon was sentenced to house arrest, a lenient outcome due to insufficient evidence. Enya reflects that Hexagon, a master manipulator, is likely trying to regain power now that his sentence is almost over. Enya observes that both her grandfather and the Lord were poisoned in the exact same manner, implying a connection. Enya, clenching her fist, vows to punish those who pervert pharmacology, a science meant for saving lives, for harmful purposes. Enya believes finding certain, quote, documents will finally provide solid proof of the scheme as she continues to walk. Enya is startled when Sophia appears at the top of the stairs, asking if someone is there. Enya quickly recovers and identifies herself to Sophia, who explains she came to investigate a loud noise, noting the area is usually sealed. Enya feigns having dropped something and gotten lost to explain her presence, hoping Sophia accepts the excuse. Sophia asks if Enya is hurt. Enya assures her she's fine, and decides to keep her true intentions a secret. Sophia mentions she misread her schedule, and now has unexpected free time. Sophia, beaming with enthusiasm, invites Enya to explore the library. Sophia eagerly leads Enya to the library, pulling her along. Enya muses, it's been a while since she visited the expansive library, believing its size will help her find what she seeks. Sophia explains the library once housed even more books, reflecting the Grunwald family's love for reading before its decline. Sophia laments that the library has become a dusty, abandoned storage room, causing Enya to cough. Enya subtly inquires whether Lady Adeline has ever been invited to the library. Sophia confirms Adeline visited once but never returned, finding it too dirty, which Enya internally dismisses as typical spoiled noble behavior. Enya concludes that the crucial documents are likely hidden within the library, probably overlooked by Adeline. Enya speculates the documents are hidden in a place no outsider would think to check, perhaps intentionally concealed. Enya asks Sophia about a covered item, which Sophia identifies as an incomplete family portrait by a former head of the household. Sophia readily agrees to let Enya take a closer look at the painting. Enya begins to uncover the painting as Sophia gives her permission to proceed. Enya, holding the painting, questions if it's merely a normal family portrait despite its history. Enya notices an unusual texture on the painting surface. Enya sees a faint image of a family and realizes something is hidden between the canvases. Enya exclaims she found it, looking at the library interior. The full moon illuminates a serene, ethereal landscape at night. Enya walks through the nighttime scenery, carrying a bag. Enya looks up at the moon, surprised by how late it has become. Enya realizes she spent too much time hiding the documents from Sophia and is now running late. Enya decides to hurry back home, thinking Dale is probably worried about her. Enya muses on Dale's past actions, reflecting on how cute it was that he waited for her. Her eye widens, startled by a sudden rustling sound. Enya looks up the hill, wondering if a wild animal caused the noise that surprised her. She feels a sense of unease, realizing the isolated house becomes creepy after sunset. Enya walks through the darkening woods, a light appearing in the distance. Enya is visibly startled by a bright, intense flash of light in the forest. She calls out nervously, asking if anyone is there, looking frightened. A man, revealed to be Dale, stumbles weakly through the dark woods. Enya, recognizing him, calls out Dale's name with concern. Thud! Dale collapses to the ground, appearing unconscious. Enya screams Dale's name, rushing towards his fallen form. Enya calls out Dale's name again as he lies unconscious on the ground. Thud! She reaches him, asking if he's hurt and expressing confusion about his late-night collapse. Enya holds the unconscious Dale, feeling his burning body and urging him to awaken. Enya looks surprised to discover a glowing, crumpled object clutched in Dale's hand. She identifies the object as a teleportation scroll and wonders if Dale just used it. Dale lies unconscious and feverish, prompting Enya to question why he would use such an item. The scene transitions to a peaceful night view of Enya's house under the moonlight. Dale awakens in bed, groaning softly. Enya smiles brightly, greeting a waking Dale and gently dabbing his forehead with a cloth. Dale is shocked to find Enya in his room and demands to know why she is there. Thump! Enya calmly explains she found him collapsed and had neighbors help move him, apologizing for entering his room without permission. Enya expresses concern, asking Dale if he has been overworking himself lately. She voices her worry, noting this is the second time she's seen him collapse, fearing something serious is happening. Enya reassures Dale that she is worried about him as a friend and colleague, offering her full support. Dale blushes, thanking Enya but assuring her it's not a problem she needs to worry about. Dale admits he overworked himself by trying to balance his original work and his married life with Enya. He expresses gratitude for her concern and care. Enya questions Dale about why he used such an expensive teleportation scroll. Dale confirms she saw it, explaining he splurged on the scroll because his work ran very late. Enya warns Dale that frequent scroll use can strain his body and tells him not to use them again. Dale agrees. Enya wishes Dale sweet dreams and leaves him to rest. Dale touches his chest, feeling the residual effects of the scroll. Dale regrets collapsing in front of Enya, believing his fatigue from overwork and frequent scroll use caused it. A stack of scrolls sits nearby. He reflects that secretly traveling back and forth to the Imperial Palace was necessary, but regrets making Enya worry. Okay, I understand. Please provide the text you would like me to read back to you. Enya stands thoughtfully before a closed door. Thump. Enya concludes Dale's collapse was a side effect of the scrolls, not an illness, trusting her keen sense of smell. She realizes such severe side effects suggest frequent use, making her suspicious about the master artisan's necklace Dale received, which was too precious for a commoner. Enya recalls Dale saying he only took minor, safe tasks after moving south and no longer accepted dangerous requests. Enya looks troubled, wondering if Dale is keeping secrets from her. The scene transitions to a bright, clear sky, signifying the arrival of a new day. Dale looks surprised as Enya calls out his name. Enya happily presents a tray of food to a recovering Dale, explaining she prepared meals to help him regain energy. Dale expresses concern about Enya being tired, but she insists it's her turn to prepare meals now that he's sick. Dale looks at a document being handed to him by an unseen person. Dale inquires about the unfamiliar document, and Enya reveals it's the original contract signed by the ancestors of Grunwald and Kidland. Enya points out that the contract's terms differ from the current situation between the two territories. Enya states her belief that Duke Hexagon and Kidland fabricated the truth, surprising Dale, who asks for clarification. Enya explains she overheard Adeline talking on a communicator at the Grunwald Lord's castle, sparking her curiosity about why the princess from wealthy Kidland would stay in Baron Grunwald. The image highlights the crucial document and evidence that was sought to be destroyed due to its unfavorable nature. A map illustrates Kidland and Grunwald, separated by the Gonia Mountains, a famous habitat for demonic beasts. Grunwald's mountainous terrain made it a primary target for demonic beast attacks, despite its stable past income from mines. Two figures shake hands, representing Grunwald signing a periodic demonic beast subjugation contract with Kidland, which had a developed mercenary industry. In return for the contract, Grunwald granted Kidland mining rights for mines near the border area. Visuals of gold coins and minerals reinforce that minerals were Kidland's main source of income, implying profitability. The account of Grunwald's sudden death left the contract's whereabouts unknown, depicted with a smiling figure and a faded map. Kidland, instead of helping, devised a scheme to completely take over Grunwald. Enya examines the retrieved document and an old map, noticing suspicious discrepancies in the land boundaries. The man observes that such a significant land transaction should not have been forgotten if it were legitimate. The man asks Enya if she believes the current contract was fabricated and if Duke Hexagon was involved. Enya confirms that Kidland, with Duke Hexagon's help, concealed the real contract and used a falsified one to seize Grunwald's land for an extended period. Enya presents the original contract and map, confirming they are proof of Kidland's guilt. Enya holds a glowing red shard, stating Adeline's voice, mentioning, "His Grace the Duke is recorded on the mana stone within." The man questions how she obtained it, and Enya explains that high-grade communication stones embed magic stones to record call logs. Enya reveals Adeline was so enraged during a conversation with the Viscount that she smashed the communication stone without retrieving the mana stone, unaware of its function, thus allowing Enya to recover it. Enya states that reporting this evidence to the Imperial Palace will improve Grunwald's situation and bring happiness to its people. Enya admits she had to open the document to collect the vapor, but prioritizes showing it to the Lord and Sophia first. Dale then asks if the Emperor will fairly resolve the issue. Dale confidently asserts that the Emperor has perfectly handled every task entrusted to him thus far. Enya muses that setting aside the marriage, she and the Emperor could be good colleagues, and she wishes for a swift resolution to the matter. Enya smiles, expressing her hope that everything works out well. Dale looks at her with a subtle smile and agrees. Enya sits with Dale, affirming that this matter will surely be resolved successfully. A chibi character appears with text, thanking the reader and promoting the series on the website. A chibi character with promotional text introduces a time skip, indicating a month later. Workers move materials, and narration states everything progressed quickly, just as Dale had predicted. The Imperial family conducted a strict and thorough investigation into the incident, while two men discussed the Lord's improved health and the truth of the poisoning. A couple walks together as narration reveals that a mountain of evidence surfaced, leaving Kidland no choice but to confess. Narration explains that the lands transferred from Grunwald to Kidland were being slowly polluted under the guise of geological surveys. The two territories maintained close familial ties, making it difficult for Grunwald to develop the land, implying Kidland prevented its fertility to gain an advantage. Adeline is shown fleeing Grunwald with his suitcase, forced to escape in the end. The land was returned, and compensation for damages was quickly provided, as it was the only logical course of action. The older man, Grunwald's lord, cheerfully calls out to Lady N, Mr. Dale. The Lord warmly thanks Enya, stating Grunwald has recovered rapidly and become lively, all thanks to her. The Lord suggests they must be busy, and offers to take them directly to the Lord. Tap, tap, tap. Enya's footfalls echo as she walks. Sophia, with an excited expression, rushes towards Enya, calling her name. Enya responds, surprised. Enya asks if Sophia was waiting to greet them. Sophia affirms that she and her grandfather were waiting for their arrival. Sophia enthusiastically urges them to come in, stating her grandfather will be overjoyed to see them. Sophia calls out to her grandfather, who appears distressed while holding a letter. The Lord, seated in a library, expresses surprise that Enya has already arrived, noting he was just about to tell them about the letter. A hand holds a document and a sealed letter, confirming it came with the other documents. The Lord explains to Enya and Dale that the letter was left by his great-grandfather, for his grandfather a long time ago. The hand holds a cup, as a question is posed about how close he was to his grandfather. The Lord confirms he was very close to his grandfather, who personally taught him when he was young. Enya expresses relief and happiness at being able to read the letter on his behalf. The Lord's grandfather once told him about the Southern Empire suffering disasters during heavy rains when he was young. It is revealed that the Lord's great-grandfather died in a landslide during one such storm, implying he left the letter fearing a similar fate. The Lord admits his great-grandfather also suspected Kidland, and he himself knew Kidland wanted more land but made excuses due to their seemingly helpful relationship and lack of solid proof, almost abandoning Sophia. Sophia calls out, "Grandpa," with a pained expression. The Lord expresses his heartache, imagining the terrible things done to his granddaughter Sophia. Enya smiles, relieved that everything was resolved well, while the Lord thanks her for uncovering the truth before more harm occurred. The Lord, in a grand room, ponders how to properly repay Enya, their benefactor. Enya humbly states no repayment is needed, crediting the imperial family's swift action and their investigators for finding the decisive evidence. An imperial investigation revealed that a central noble, a subordinate of Duke Hexagon, was the, quote, Aksagwen, who previously attempted to buy Grunwald's land, shown as a shadowy figure offering money. The original lord had no intention of selling to outsiders, prompting them to devise a new method, depicted by stylized figures of the old lord and his family. Their next method involved using Viscount Kidland, a relative of Grunwald, who desired permanent concealment of the original contract. Viscount Kidland grins sinisterly, hands clasped, illustrating his manipulative nature and involvement in the scheme. A central noble helped Kidland seize Grunwald's land in exchange for a portion, sealing the deal with a handshake. Enya muses that the imperial family acted swiftly and thoroughly because Duke Hexagon's involvement was uncovered through the translated evidence. A woman, likely Sophia, asks if Enya is truly okay with Grunwald receiving all the credit, but Enya confirms she prefers it that way to avoid trouble for herself. Enya, holding a cup, explains her decision to stay out of the spotlight, believing her involvement in such a big case would only cause trouble, as Dale had suggested. Enya smiles, satisfied that as long as the people in the Lord's estate and Sophia know the truth, it is enough. The Lord and Sophia insist Enya accept a token of their gratitude, feeling they cannot rest until they repay her for saving Grunwald. Enya begins to decline another generous offer, but then a realization dawns on her face. Enya asked Dale when he passed the map, noting that Grunwald received a significant amount of land back from Kidland. A hand points to a wide wasteland on the map in front of the Lord's castle, which Enya understands was Kydland's and only recently returned. Dale suggests that transferring the reclaimed forest and wasteland to Lady N would be more than enough repayment, looking intently at the Lord. The image emphasizes Enya's crucial role by stating she is literally a lifesaver. Enya's eyes widen in surprise as she repeats, "This land?" Enya smiles bashfully, wondering if Dale remembered her earlier interest in the land and brought it up first. Enya looks conflicted, admitting her original goal was the land, but after hearing Grunwald's suffering, asking for more feels difficult. A subtle, introspective image suggests Enya's thoughtful pause and internal conflict regarding the land offer. The Lord and Sophia enthusiastically agree that Enya deserves both the forest and wasteland, despite Enya's attempts to refuse. Dale smiles, gently encouraging Enya to accept the gift so the family can properly express their gratitude. Enya looks surprised and flustered, calling out Dale's name in exasperation. Enya reluctantly agrees to accept the gift, but only the forest area, stating that taking too much would diminish the meaning of Grunwald reclaiming its land. The Lord looks surprised as Enya volunteers to help purify the wasteland herself, declaring her intention to help Grunwald rise again. Enya confidently states she has studied land purification methods and, with the temple's help, can quickly resolve the wasteland's toxins, motivated by her fondness for Grunwald's people. The older man expresses doubt about busy priests traveling to their remote location, while the Lord listens intently. Enya smiles, assuring them that they have enough donation funds to summon a priest, adding that she coincidentally knows one quite well. Dale is shocked, reacting strongly to Enya's casual mention of a corrupted priest who would come for money in front of a church. A hand pulls a curtain, revealing Enya and the older man in the background, as Enya wonders if she said something wrong, observing Dale's reaction. The older man reassures Enya she did well, but expresses disbelief that His Majesty is staying in Grunwald. The Lord begins to suggest Enya might be the one His Majesty is searching for, but the older man subtly cuts him off, indicating they should keep the Emperor's presence a secret. Enya and Dale hold hands, looking happy, as the narrator comments that their happiness is enough. A stylized Enya triumphantly exclaims that she has everything needed for purifying the wasteland, surrounded by papers and bottles. Enya walks at night, wrapped in a cloak, wondering if Dale is doing well. Dale is shown outside chopping wood, with an axe embedded in a log, indicating his work. Dale subtly smiles to himself, looking content. Enya observes Dale from a balcony, thinking to herself that he is very handsome. Enya calls down to Dale from the balcony, asking if he is okay. Dale turns, looking surprised, and assures Enya that he is fine. Narration notes Dale's improved complexion and lack of scroll use, as Enya asks if he has finished his work. Enya looks at Dale with deep affection, reflecting on all they have been through together. Dale appears flustered and surprised as Enya invites him on a date. A chibi character thanks the reader and promotes continued engagement with the series. Mercenary Text encourages readers to visit the website for more content and recruitment information. Two children wave enthusiastically as Enya and another person walk in the background, while a chibi character promotes the website. A foot stumbles on something with a surprised exclamation. Dale gently helps two children who stumbled, advising them to be careful with sharp objects. A child thanks Dale as he walks away, causing Dale to subtly wonder about being called Mr. Enya giggles, remarking that to children, all adults are simply Mr. or Ma'am, and Dale agrees. Dale expresses that seeing lively children lifts his spirits, noting how rare it is in Grunwald. Enya and Dale walk hand in hand through a bustling city, observing the difference from Grunwald. Enya asks Dale if there's a reason he chose this city for their date, implying she enjoys seeing new sights. Enya looks lovingly at Dale, stating her desire to repay him for all his help. Dale appears flustered, thinking it's a shame they haven't had much time alone together. Enya resolves to make their first date special. Enya beams with a radiant, happy smile. Enya excitedly suggests they start their date by visiting a nearby store. Dale sits in a grand clothing boutique, looking overwhelmed as he calls out Enya's name. Dale blushes deeply, seemingly overwhelmed by the array of clothes. Dale shyly admits that so many new clothes aren't really necessary. Dale insists that simply spending the day with Enya is enough and expresses discomfort about her overspending, but Enya playfully dismisses his concerns. Enya, beaming, enjoys the chance to dress Dale in cute clothes, convinced he looks good in everything. Enya muses that Dale makes buying clothes fun because everything suits him, and notes that the boutique's prices are reasonable, wondering if they bought 20 outfits. Enya reassures Dale she has plenty of money from her contract deposit, and mentions telling Rosanna about Kidlin's motives before the truth was exposed. A store attendant approaches Enya, offering a matching women's outfit for Dale's new clothes, acknowledging her ample funds. Enya boldly declares she will wear the matching outfit out of the store and arranges for the rest to be delivered, while Dale and the attendant are surprised by her declaration, calling them a stylish newlywed couple. Enya asks Dale if their shopping trip was successful. Dale holds Enya's hand, affirming he enjoyed her picking his clothes, and asks where she'd like to go next. Enya brightly suggests visiting a famous tea shop and asks if Dale wants to grab something to eat too. Dale smiles sweetly, saying he's happy anywhere with Enya, causing Enya to call him charming. Enya narrates about her relatively short time, knowing Dale as they relax at an outdoor cafe. Enya continues her narration, reflecting that simply being around Dale puts her in a good mood. Enya narrates that it feels as if they've been close for years, finding it comforting as they walk together. Enya reflects on how comforting her time with Dale feels while holding a small bag of money and a basket of flowers. Enya muses that even her contract marriage to avoid the Emperor feels comforting with Dale. Enya's eye reflects her feelings, thinking that every moment with Dale makes her situation feel light and happy. Dale surprises Enya with a basket of flowers. Enya and Dale gaze at each other with affection. Enya asks Dale if he had fun today. Enya and Dale enjoy a tranquil moment together, rowing a small boat on sparkling water. Dale smiles contentedly, describing the day as feeling like a dream. Enya expresses relief that her efforts paid off and awkwardly asks if his recent busy period was dedicated to preparing for their date. Dale confirms Rosanna's help and his happiness that Enya enjoyed it, then reveals he has a gift for her. Enya looks surprised, her eyes wide and a blush on her cheeks. Dale presents a ring box, revealing them to be wedding rings. Enya is flustered, questioning the idea of wedding rings since they aren't truly married, but Dale explains he had them made to avoid suspicion from others. Dale, with a slight blush, gently asks Enya if he can put the ring on her. Enya wonders why she's blushing, attributing it to Dale's gentle demeanor. Enya reflects on having a truly great time today as they walk at night. Enya thinks Dale feels the same, feeling it's a waste to simply go home, showing their hands now adorned with rings. Enya notices a fortune shop, her curiosity piqued. Enya and Dale observe the fortune shop, noting it offers various readings, including compatibility. Dale's eyes sparkle at the mention of compatibility, making Enya wonder about his interest. Enya suggests they check out the fortune shop for fun, and Dale agrees. A hooded fortune teller with glowing hands watches Enya and Dale, calling them a cute couple. The fortune teller asks what they are curious about, and Dale, blushing, asks for their fortune as a married couple. The fortune teller identifies Enya and Dale as apparent newlyweds, surprising Enya. The fortune teller notes their matching outfits and rings, stating anyone could guess, and expresses a desire for more interesting revelations. Enya observes a subtle shift in Dale's expression as the fortune teller prepares to speak more. The hooded fortune teller, seated at a table, directly asks if Enya and Dale are genuinely married. Enya is visibly shocked and questions how the fortune teller could have known their secret. The fortune teller begins to describe their connection as a cursed bond, but Dale sternly interjects to stop her. Enya looks up anxiously, calling out Dale's name. Dale grabs the fortune teller, revealing they use disguise potions, while a chibi character promotes the series.